Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're going to be taking another look at the PlayStation Classic, and more specifically a hacked build that has over 100 PlayStation games on it. So I just wanted to kind of take a look at this, see how things work, point out some of the little quirks I've noticed, some of the things that I've learned from messing around with the PlayStation Classic, and just share that with you guys. I think this is pretty cool, some of the things we can do. So on this build, we do have RetroArch and BleemSync. RetroArch, I don't have anything loaded up on there other than PlayStation games, but if there's any specific systems or specific games you guys want me to check out and try and share that with you guys in a future video, let me know. I'll do what I can. But today we're going to be taking a look at BleemSync. So BleemSync, it's the safe way to hack your system. It's really cool. It doesn't override anything with the system. You just load it up on a USB drive. So that's one of the things I wanted to point out, and we'll talk about that more in a moment. But with this, as you see, I do have a custom theme, so it's kind of cool. You can do custom themes or download themes, make your own, all those things. It's pretty sweet. I was kind of starting to like the original theme that came with this. It is fairly bland, don't get me wrong, but I was kind of fine with it. But it is definitely sweet to be able to put whatever themes you want or make your own. So this one that I have is called, I believe it's called Gray Wave or Wavy Gray, something like that. It's Gray Wave. And I think it fits the aesthetic of PlayStation very well. A lot of people are making like game-specific ones, things like that, and they're all pretty neat, but I wanted to kind of keep mine fairly basic, not have characters on the screen, just that PlayStation aesthetic with the buttons and just the way it looks, and then have the game art with with all the games there. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I believe this has like 102 games on it. We'll go ahead and just kind of sift through and take a look. So the cool thing with this hack is you're not really modifying the system. If you remove the USB drive and you turn your system back on, you have access to the original games that are installed on it. So nothing to worry about with that. With this new way of hacking, you don't have to worry about any weird stuff where you have templates or non-box art sitting there for games that you loaded when you took it off. If you use that GP hacks, if you go back to that GitHub, it no longer exists in its older form, but what you can do is download the newer version of it to uninstall the previous version on your system. That way you can do the BleemSync hack without issue. So I'll probably try to do some more in-depth stuff with that later. But a good resource would be like my Facebook group. Link is in the description. It's always in my description. The Facebook group that I have, Madlittlepixel Gaming. A lot of people there helping out with the hacking scene on certain things. People have questions, not just with the PlayStation Classic, but RetroPie, the Super Retrocade, various other systems as well. A lot of cool conversations and a lot of people willing to help. We don't screw around over there. People aren't trolling each other, talking crap. It's just a friendly place for people to go to, help each other out. So like I said, let's scroll through, see what we have here. I know originally there was like one game, Street Fighter, the SNK versus Capcom, I believe it was, that did not work properly, and it just needed a minor configuration edit, and now it works on this build. So definitely cool. But with this hack, I mean, it's add your own games, do what you want. I just thought it was pretty cool to have this pre-installed one. Love that Namco museum stuff. I always like having that on a build where it spells out Namco if you have it in order. Pepsi Man, hells yes. Ridge Racer Type 4 is on the PlayStation Classic, but it's definitely a sweet-ass game. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff here. We'll pick something in a second to test out. Something that loads up pretty quick. I think it was, which one was it? I don't even know what game it was, but there was a specific Street Fighter game that wouldn't boot up, and it just needed a little minor edit, and now it works. So not tripping on that. Tomba, that's one of them I always got to have on my PlayStation, man. Love Tomba. But there we go. That's the beginning there. So let's find something to jump into. Oh yeah, it was Capcom versus SNK. That was the one I was thinking of. Don't know why I couldn't think of it at this moment. But there we go. Let's jump into one that I really love. This game's pretty sweet. So with this build and these hacks, the way this is set up, you can get to the emulator settings with the original controller. I believe it's select and triangle. Yeah, select and triangle. So that's pretty good. You can mess with a few things here. Let me see. Let's just get into the game. And then I'll change like the graphics and whatnot. But the cool thing with that, with the settings thing, was like if you had it hacked but you're still playing like the original games, or if you had PAL region, you know, you could go back and change it to NTSC. The cool thing with that is if like you're not hacking the system, but you're using like the 8BitDo little PlayStation Classic Bluetooth adapter, and you use a DualShock 4, without having your system hacked, you can access that settings screen and change things around if you're just playing the system without it being hacked. So that's pretty cool. Highly recommend this thing. I'm digging it. It does look a little weird having a brick-shaped thing plug into the system. Right now I'm just using the original controller. But okay, we don't care. Let's just go back. Let's get into this game, dude. I just want to jump into the game and then like change the graphics settings real quick to see. Yeah, we're just gonna play as him. Why not? Stupid phone. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to the PCSX menu. Go to Options, go to Display, Software Filter. Let's go to Scale 2X, get out of there. See if we got any kind of difference here. And it does look a little, forgetting the button presses here. Does look a little sharper, I think. Let's change that back. Yeah, you could see it's quite a bit sharper, at least on my screen that I'm looking at. So that's pretty cool. Let's try the Eagle 2X. Some of these settings, you might not want to screw around too much, but I think if you just mess with those, the two filter options, you'll be all right. Some games might glitch out or not work with them, but everything that I have tested so far, I haven't had an issue, so that's pretty damn cool. Now, let me go ahead and back out of this. The one thing I want to point out with loading from the USB drive is it's kind of a mixed bag, I want to say. Some USB drives are not going to work. Some are going to be too slow. Some the power consumption of the system, I don't know. There's going to be specific things where it's kind of difficult to know. Originally, the person who put this together had told me they were using one of these. It's kind of small, so I don't know if I could really show it on screen. But one of these little SD card USB drives that come with a lot of Raspberry Pi kits, and he had no issues with it. But when I used it and I used the same memory card that he was using, my system would freeze. It would turn off. So it was kind of odd. So I got this little SanDisk 64 gigabyte cruiser. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested, but it's worked for me no problem. You do notice when it's loading this stuff up, it might take a few seconds longer to load than, say, just booting up the system itself, because it's reading, the information and everything from those files. So it does take a little bit longer, but not drastically so to where I think it detracts from the experience. I still think it's pretty damn sweet. So let's see how this runs. I've tested probably a good 20 to 30 games on here and have had no issues. I haven't played all of them yet, but really cool what people are doing with this thing, and I just kind of wanted to share that and talk about possible what other things I could do with the PlayStation Classic in the future. I haven't done too much content as of late. There's a lot of progress going on from what I understand. The newer version of BleemSync may, I'm not sure when that comes out, but it's supposed to be able to support a few new things that might actually make it a lot cooler, which it's definitely, not might, it will. But to be able to use the back USB port to power the system and load your USB drive, so that will be definitely sweet. Can't wait for that. And then the other big thing would be supporting PBP files. The reason I think that is really cool is PBP files, they were made for the PSP, but they're compressed, they're smaller, so you can fit more games on your drive, and multi-disc games are all on just that one file. You don't have to worry about having a bunch of bin and queues for multi-disc games. Like what Final Fantasy VII I think is 3 discs. I mean, I might not be remembering correctly, but I know it's at least 3 discs. With a PBP file, it's just that one game, and you would swap your discs at that point when it prompts you to, because all the files are on there. Like, there's nothing special you really need to do with these emulators and whatnot for those multi-disc games to work. So I'm really curious to see that working, see that in action. As soon as that's out, hopefully it's out pretty soon. It might already be out, but I haven't heard anything. I know it's coming soon, so I'm pretty sure it's not out yet. But that's definitely a welcome addition to the hacking scene of the PlayStation Classic. But there we go, Crash Bandicoot playing pretty well. The Chocobo, however you want to say it, Chocobo Racing, people always, oh, you say it wrong. Hey man, my bad, bro. I says things the way I says them. But there's that. So just wanted to share this with you guys. Pretty cool. If you need more help with hacking, I know I've not done a lot of hacking videos recently, but my Facebook group, you know, for modding and all that kind of stuff is really a cool place to go. So, hey, hope to see you join. If not, it's all good. If you're already there, appreciate it, man. So with that said, guys, thank you. Smash that like button. Make sweet-ass love to that notification bell. And with that said, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom.